Assistant Chief Constable with the Kent and Essex Serious Crime Directorate. Thank you for joining me today. So Julia was a PCSO with Kent Police since 2008. I'm incredibly regretful for what has happened, as are all of my colleagues. The investigation has been able, as you will have seen, to release a photograph today of a man that I think is key to unlocking what happened to Julia on Tuesday of last week. It is an image taken on the following day, Wednesday last week, the 28th. Somebody knows who that man is. We desperately need you to make contact with us and help us identify who that person is. If that person is watching, please make contact with us. We believe that you have crucial information. We need someone to do the right thing and help us. The local population have been absolutely superb in supporting this investigation. We now have more than 1,000 pieces of information provided by the public. That is absolutely incredible. But I need someone to do the right thing and give us the information that we need so that we can help bring justice to Julia, for her family and for Julia herself. Thank you.
Hi, Ben from Sky News. Why do you think this man is so key to your investigation?
I'm not going to be drawn on detail from the case. It's really important that if we do bring someone to justice, that any evidence hits a jury as clean as possible in the interest of justice. But this man was in a very relevant location the following day, the day after the offence, and I have reason to believe that he will have evidence or information of crucial importance to the inquiry.
And how was the photo obtained? Was it dash cam footage?
Again, I'm not going to get into that level of detail. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to disclose that form of detail. But as you can see, it's a very good quality image, incredibly identifiable. And again, I would appeal to someone. You may know this individual, you may work with them, they may shop where you shop. If anyone has any information that can help us identify this person, I would urge you to contact us as quickly as possible.
Do you know yet what was used as the murder weapon?
I have been asked this question before, and again, I'm afraid I'm not going to be drawn. It would not be appropriate for me to get into that level of detail at this stage. But Julia died from very significant head injuries, and of course, that's a focus of our investigation.
Helena Wilkinson, BBC. Can you tell us just two things? How far was this man in connection with the area where Julia James was found? And do you have any other footage, CCTV, dash cam of him apart from this photograph?
I'm not, as I've repeatedly said, going to get drawn into too much detail. He is within the relevant area, as highlighted on the maps that we've provided that are available on our website the following days. So certainly in the area that we're very, very interested in, but I'm not going to get drawn on any additional detail.
Mike Keogh, Radio Kent. Do we know if this person is a British national, and is there any possibility he may have already left the country if he isn't?
Unfortunately, I'm here today because we haven't identified him, so it's not a question I can answer. I'm very, very keen to harness the support from the public that we've enjoyed so far during this investigation to help us identify him. You know, the picture speaks for itself.
So have you approached any foreign police to look for any help abroad? Put his picture out to press across Europe or anything like that?
As I said, I'm not going to provide a running commentary on every line of inquiry, but this is a very significant investigation. It's an undetected murder, and we are pursuing every line of inquiry that you would expect in such a case.
Thank you for Live TV News. Why do you think this man is key to the investigation?
As I say, it's not going to be appropriate for me to get into every detail, but he was in the area that we are appealing for witnesses to come forward. We haven't identified him, so it's absolutely crucial that we have the opportunity to speak to him. As I say, I believe that he is in possession of information that could be hugely important to the investigation.
Is there anything about the picture and how much you're able to see of his face that doesn't match to police databases of other names?
I beg your pardon?
Are you able to see enough of his face in a picture to match it to a police database of other names?
I think it's, as I've said, an exceptionally good quality image. I've been involved in many investigations. It's unusual for us to have such a high quality image to work with. I'm very confident that someone will be able to identify that individual if they work with them, if they know them, if they encounter them when they go shopping, for example. I am very, very confident with an image of that quality that someone will know, and I just appeal to them to do the right thing and to help us bring justice for Julia.
Should members of the public be scared to approach him if they know him to try and keep him to a certain location? Are you scared he could attack anybody else?
I don't know the motive of this attack, as I've said a number of times, so it's incredibly difficult for me to answer questions of that nature. I'm not asking members of the public to approach this individual. I'm encouraging you to provide the information to Kent Police so that we can progress it appropriately.
Kit Bradshaw from ITV Meridian. Just 2 days ago you said you had no motive identified and no suspects. Do we take from what you've said in this press release and this press conference that this man is a suspect and he is indeed your prime suspect now?
He is a person of crucial importance for us to trace and speak to. I appreciate you're going to draw conclusions from that, but I'm not saying here and now that he is a suspect, but he is crucially important to the investigation.
And this photograph taken a day after Julia James was killed. Previously you've said you're appealing for witnesses both on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. What's the significance, do you think, of that passage of time before this photograph was taken?
So I guess I'm appealing for a number of things. Number one, the identity of the individual in that picture, hugely important to us. Secondly, I'm interested in anyone who is in that relevant area in the woods and fields to the south of Aylsham that you can see on that map. During any of the relevant period, particularly on Tuesday of last week between 1 p.m. and 4:30 in the afternoon. But of course I'm interested in any information. We've had a huge number of calls from members of the public that's helping us to piece together what has happened. If anyone has anything that is in their mind that is concerning them, perhaps you encountered someone, you got a bad feeling, you chose to turn away or cross the other side of the road, anything that gave you a bad feeling, we need to hear about that. So it is quite a broad-ranging appeal, and many people have already provided such information, but I confidently believe there's someone out there who holds the key to identifying that man and helping us to understand what happened to Julia.
And since the last press conference, you've broadened your search area. We've seen activity at the former Snowdown Colliery and today at Woolwich Green. Are these targeted searches, or is it just simply a much broader area you're now searching?
You'll see a heavy police presence in the area for some considerable time to come. Some of that is targeted investigative activity. Some of it, of course, is reassuring the local residents who are understandably concerned. But of course we are trying to identify routes that the offender may have taken, both approaching and leaving the area where the offence took place. So you will see us in many locations in that area.
Do you know this man's name?
I'm appealing for help in identifying this man. I do not know who this man is.
Mike Belligan, PA. Is he currently the only person of interest that you're chasing currently?
We've got a large major investigation team working on this. We've got many names that are featured in the inquiry. We're of course interested in many individuals, but this individual is a big frustration to the investigation because we don't know who they are, and we desperately need a name so that we can identify them.
There were some leaflets, reports of leaflets being delivered to residents in the area. I don't know whether they came from Kent Police, but saying that Julia James had left her house just after 3 o'clock on Tuesday. Had that come from Kent Police? And if it has, can you confirm that?
So Kent Police certainly have circulated a leaflet and posters and online material trying to keep everyone informed, trying to reassure people. I think in an earlier edition it referenced 3 o'clock. I have now broadened the time span to be from between 1 o'clock and 4:30. We're still with the help of local residents trying to nail down exactly what happened and what the relevant time periods are. Of course I'm interested in events before and after Julia's death, so I've broadened the parameters to 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m.
So it's incorrect to say that she did leave her house just after 3?
I'm interested in that entire period. I do have information that leads me to draw a conclusion as to when Julia may have left the home, but it wouldn't be appropriate for me to provide that detail here and now.
What is your advice to residents in Aylsham and Snowdown now, 10 days on, many of whom still aren't feeling safe enough to actually leave their home and go for a walk?
Yeah, I totally recognise the local concern. It's completely natural in such an awful case as this. It is at the moment being treated as an awful but isolated incident. I'm not linking this to any other incidents or offences definitively at this stage. Of course, people are concerned. I would urge them to be aware and to be vigilant, report any concerns to us and provide any information that they have in case it's that crucial key in our investigation.
Should people not go for walks in the woods or fields?
I'm not advising people not to take a walk. I'm just advising people to be vigilant and cautious.
Can I just ask for the photograph again? Was it taken by, I know you can't say how you got it, but was it a police officer or a member of the public?
I'm not going to be drawn on the source of that photograph. It has the potential to be very important to the investigation, and as I say, it's crucial that evidence hits a jury if we're successful in bringing someone to justice in as clean a manner as possible, so that we're not influencing a jury unduly.
And if that man pictured in that photograph is watching you now and you could speak directly to him, what would you say?
As I said before, I believe that he has some information of crucial importance to the investigation. I'd appeal for him to come forward. We will treat all calls in confidence. We'll treat them very, very sensitively, but it's absolutely vital that we speak to that individual. Thank you very much.
Mercury, just a couple of things. He was photographed the day after the murder, so why are you interested in it? So if it was just before the murder or a few minutes after, that would be clear, but the day after?
As I've said a number of times, it's not going to be appropriate for me to get into the fine-grained detail of the investigation. I'm not going to give a running commentary on every line of inquiry, but I'm satisfied, based on my knowledge of the case, that he has information of crucial importance to the investigation.
Can I just start in terms of where that photograph was taken on Spinney Lane? I know you can't say how far it is from where Julia James was found, but it's right to say that that is an area which overlooks the woodland and the fields.
Yeah, Spinney Lane is one of the four roads that sort of run around the perimeter of the area of our principal interest, and it is looking in the direction of our interest. So yes, 100%, it's very significant.
You mentioned yesterday you're broadening the search. Can you just explain how far you're broadening the search area?
We're not broadening the detailed fingertip forensic search. That remains in the key area that's being cordoned off now for some time, but we're broadening activity more widely, partly to reassure the public, but of course in case we can identify a route in or route out by the offender, we need to look more further afield.
And what do you mean by broadening activity? What types of activity?
Physical presence and walk through the land, hoping to find something of significance to the inquiry.
Questioning members of the public?
There's a very significant police presence. People in Aylsham and Snowdon may well have already had a visit from the police. We're doing a lot of work, working door to door, seeking witnesses, seeking information, seeking closed-circuit television opportunities. So this is just part of that wider strategy.
And some military personnel were seen in the vicinity of Aylsham Community Centre yesterday. Have you asked the Army for assistance in your search operations?
No, we haven't.